Hey, what's going on, guys? This is $2 Bill, also known as Sword Monkey on the server Arkenstone, or any of the other names listed below here. I just wanted to make a quick guide to Creep for any new beginner PvPers. Since the last update, both sides are free to play, and you get all the classes instead of just a Reaver. So, a little bit about me. I started playing the game in 2009. Mostly played Reaver. I came from the server Villia, switched over to Landing when they closed that down, and came over to Arkenstone when I guess this was the main server for PvP. So let's get right to it. You have 6 classes you can choose from on Creep side. First being the Reaver. Reaver is insane, by the way. Basically, you just break the lines with charge. You're a melee class. You have one range skill called Blade Toss. It's a pretty fun class. You do die a lot, so you have to get used to that. And it's okay if you die, it's not a big deal. But a super fun class to play. Next class would be Weaver, or the Spider. I don't know much about Spider, I don't have one. But what I do know is that they're basically a CC class. They do damage as well. Very good for solo players. Definitely wanted in raids to, CC healers, drop webbing, just add a little damage as well. So if you're into a CC class, go ahead and choose Weaver. Next would be the Black Arrow. Black Arrow is a ranged class, ranged DPS, a lot of burst DPS, VT, tangle shot, all that type of stuff, and definitely wanted in raids these days. So if you want to do range damage, Black Arrow's for you. Next would be the War Leader. War Leader is a support class, mainly big AoE heals for their groups. One of their biggest skills would be the bubble field promotion. Basically, you bubble a target and they take 90% reduced damage for 15 seconds when traded correctly. Another big thing about War Leader is their AoE res. They res 5 people. It's at a 2-minute cooldown, so War Leaders are a necessity in Raid v Raid. So if you want to play a support class, there you go. Wargs. Wargs are, I'd say, mostly solo players that play Warg as well. You're a stealth class, kind of like a burglar. The reason you'd be wanted in Raid v Raid situations would be to either scout or be a flayer warg. Flayer, basically you root a target in place for about 10 seconds, I believe, I could be wrong. Really good to help take down a target that needs to die. You can root it in Blight, so that's the main reason. And we have Defiler. Defiler is another support class. They have a lot of heals over time, a lot of instant cast heal over time. They're a relatively easier class to play than a War Leader would be if you want to be a healer. They do have debuffs that are pretty important and an AoE fear, but they're really good for solo play, raid v raid, groups, all that type of stuff. You want to heal, you don't want to struggle too much, I'd say Defiler. It's a great class. Have fun with it. Alright, so let's make a name. Go ahead and make a random name for right now. Rodrin? No. Jesus, so weird. Okay, that works. Alright, so once you hop in, you're going to get all these little tips of what you want to do, all that type of stuff, explaining what's going on. I'm just going to delete those for now. This right here is an add-on. It's called Pvmp Plus if you wanted to use that. So if I hit OK here and bring this thing up, you hit Control / if you want to move around your UI a little bit. So I'm just going to move this thing over to the right. So when you start, talk to your class guy. He says, get your orders from Chief Guard Dirters. Alright, we'll go. Delete those. The Chief Guard is right outside of Grams. You look down at your bars, you'll see a skill called March. Get 25% out of combat speed. Very useful. If you don't want floating names, you turn N to take off floating names. Talk to this guy. Tells you return to safety because you're too squishy to be out here. Okay, we're going to return to safety. Go on back. Talk to Ooglash. he's going to give you your first corruption, damage for health. So what a corruption is, basically you have a bunch of different corruptions that can increase, damage. Like this one right here is damage for health, so you'll get this amount of damage, but you'll lose that amount of health. We also have stuff like physical and tactical mastery, or mitigations, or crit defense, all that type of stuff. We'll go over that in a second. So I'll finish now. Right here, when you accept this quest, he's going to want you to go talk to your trainers. And once you do that, you'll get audacity, a little bit of infamy, some comms. Comms are very important. You want to save your comms as much as you can. Also, grab the other quest it gives you real quick. Talk to the war tyrant. Give you something called slaughter the free people. So this is new. I don't really know much about this, but you accept it. You can accept some quests. Basically, you slay the free people, the freeps, and you'll get comms for it. So accept those. Let me just get these out of the way real quick. Go up here to our trainers. Right here, this is your monster player trainer. If you want to read it, it'll tell you about it, but really simple is this is where you train your skills. You'll have your active skills. If you want to see what you can get, even though you're not at the right rank, you can see here. All skills will be available by rank 5, but you'll get some other skills on the way there. This is Audacity in your passive section. Audacity will do, it'll reduce crowd control on you, reduce incoming damage, as well as give you extra damage. So this is going to be a main priority as you're a new person, besides getting your skills. These are your traits. We'll go over that in a little bit. So you just complete this quest. This is your Corruptor of Graham's Foot. This is where you would slot the things you have earned. So like damage for health, I would put this right here in this corruption slot. Lost a little bit of health, but I did gain 2.5% damage for all of my damage skills. So I'll confirm that. Talk to this guy. This is the mithril vendor apparently. I didn't know really about this, but you can get maps, skills, a whole bunch of stuff here. So once you finish that, come down here. Talk to Uglash again. Turn it in. You're going to get commendations, a little bit of infamy, awards of audacity. Alright, so here's the thing you want to know about these awards of audacity. If I click this right now, it would instantly raise my current audacity by 4. So I would have 5. But it is a waste, so do not use those right away. What you want to do is build up comms, buy all your audacity until it gets a little too expensive, then you can use these. So it would be much more valuable to you. Okay, so once you do that, you're pretty much open to the world now. All these quests pop up, a bunch of different quests. Make sure to grab all of them as a new player. So like capture an outpost in the Entmoors. Okay, maybe you'll be around to capture an outpost. You just want to grab all these quests, because as you're going through the Entmoors, you will complete these quests. And you can turn them in for a little bit of comms, but they add up. So I'll just grab all these. Oh, and so I guess they changed it. It is no longer a deed to get your grams map, your 1-minute grams map, because right now I have right here a crude map to grams foot. So I'll click that, edit it to my bars. So wherever I am on the map, right here, anywhere, right here, this is steps a gram. Anywhere I'm at, I can map back to grams, but it has a 1-hour cooldown, so that's no good. So right now, a lot of these quests, there's a lot of them, but they made it the quests now instead of the deeds. So you grab all these quests like Report to Lugzig, Report to Turthra, Tolskarnen, and once you complete all these quests to report, you basically want to report to each of the keeps, which this is Lugzig, this is Eisendeep Mine, this is Tolskarnen, Lumbercamp, Turthra. Up here is Grotham. And I think there's one more, but I'm not sure. Once you go to all those places and you come back, you complete all those quests, then you'll get your 1 minute map to Gramps Foot. So instead of a 1 hour cooldown, it'll be a 1 minute cooldown, which is much better, obviously. So, grab this one more quest, poison the Hordale. Okay, so now we have all our quests. Okay, so as you can see, there's not much left to do but go out into the world. But say I walk out there right now, I would get destroyed. I have minimal amount of health, no corruptions traded, except for that one. I lose a little bit of health. So I'm squishy. So what do I do from here? Well, if you're a Lotro player, you probably know how to do quests. Look at your quests, you can read them and figure out where to go. A lot of these is just getting to places like Dargazag or Lugzig. So you don't want to walk out the front door. You walk out the front door, you're probably going to die because there's a lot of freeps out there and they are just itching to get comms right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to get to Dargazag or DG pretty safely until you get the end of it, to the end of it. So we'll see. Right now we're at Gramps Foot. We want to go here, DG. So if you look over here, come this way, there is a secret path, not really secret, but just a side path, and you got one shot so people can't really kill you up here. Come through here. Make sure you have March on because you don't want to be so slow. This brings you all the way to DG safely. So you can see a little bit of the map over here. Over here is DG, Dargazag. That's the Lugazag over there. And I'll go over the settings so you can actually see that far in just a little bit here. Alright, we're getting close. So this gate right here, this is where the one-shotters stop. The Kron, whatever it is, fell arrow. So the last ones are right here. So once you leave here, you are susceptible to, say, burglars that are in stealth waiting for greenies, because they do that a lot. But it's okay. Unfortunately, that's how it is for creeps. You have to go out into the PvP world to do any kind of progression on your character. So this is Dargazag, right here on the map. Um, so the importance of this place, the counterpart for Dargazag would be Ostringder, which is over in this area right here. This is where the relic and the crown, I think, I'm not sure. There's two different things you can grab that basically when you own them you'll get a infamy buff, probably something else, I'm not really sure, but this is where frames would come when we own them to get them. You come in here we have a tyrant here. They kill the tyrant, and the gate would open up. I'll show you real quick. So right in here, they would kill this tyrant. They'd click this gate, it would open up, and that's when they would be able to grab the relic or the crown. Now, we don't have them. Right now, the Freeps have both of them. So, on their side of the map, they have basically the same setup, same thing, but that's where they would be. One here, one there. But, came to Darkazag. Should have a quest completed. Report to Darkazag. Talk to Chieftain Durklam at Darkazag. Okay. Floating names. Right here, Chieftain Durklam. Durklam, whatever. Report to Darkazag. Okay, cool. Finish now. Cool. Got some comms, got some infamy. Now here, there's a lot of daily quests you can do here. Captain General symbols, First Marshal, Lieutenant, Sergeant at Arms. All these things you can gather by killing NPCs in the moors. Captain General and First Marshal, as well as Lieutenant and Sergeant at Arms, will mostly be in keeps. To get a Captain General symbol, you need to kill the Captain General in one of the keeps owned by the Freeps. So once you gather those, you can come here, accept the quest, turn it in right away. You'll get 100 infamy and some comms. So there's a bunch of different quests here. Right here, Leader of the Rat Folk, Tasty Little Farmers and Gardeners, Tasty Little Legs. These quests here, you do down here in Horello. You kill the mayor, kill some gardeners and farmers, grab their legs, and that's how you would do those quests. So there's some daily quests in here that can get you extra infamy and extra comms. So I'm gonna head out here. Okay. Alright, so if I look at the map, a couple of the keeps are blue. So this red eye means that we own it. So we could go to these places, grab their quests, complete their quests, and that completing quests for each keep is how you get the maps. So right now I would not be able to go to TA, Tulsk Garden, and complete quests because it's blue. So here's the thing about maps. Maps are how you get around the Moors on Creepside efficiently. You have 3 kinds of maps for each keep. You have the crude map, the poor map, and the good map. Basically, the crude map, say I wanted to get the crude map for Lumber Camp, I would have to come here and do 10 quests. So it has to do with, like, wood, all that stuff, kindling. You come in here, you grab the quests. Once you complete 10 of the quests, that is when you would get the crude map. And when you complete 10, it is a deed. So you go in here to your deeds. I don't have them yet, but once I'm there, it would just say, go to the War Tyrant to collect your map. So then you would, once you complete 10 quests, you go back to Graham's Foot, and that is when you would talk to the War Tyrant and get your map. It also gives you some commendations too, so that's good. Once you get your crude map, you would get another deed. At that point, you would have to complete 15 quests. So you basically do, you do 15 more quests here, and they're all daily, so you can only do once a day. Once you do 15, same stuff, you go to the War Tyrant, and you get your poor map, and some commendations. Then you want to do the same thing for your good map. The good map takes 25 quests, so it does take some time per keep to get these maps, but they are essential if you want to be in any kind of raid or grouping. So, if I were to leave here to go to any of these keeps that are red and try and do some quests, it would be pretty difficult because I'm going out into the world. There are Freeps out there and they want to kill you. Fortunately, that's just kind of the way. You have to go out there. I'm not going to do that here. I've done it plenty of times. But if you need any kind of map items or anything like that, feel free to send me a mail or in-game tell when I'm on, and I'll give you what, map quest items I have. And when you're killing NPCs or anything throughout the moors, you may get loot boxes, which if you play Freep, you know what loot boxes are. You can only get the keys from the store, so if you have Lotro points, you know, it's definitely worth opening, because out of those boxes you can get Sigil of Battle, commendations, potions, you know, quest items, such like that. So if you do have Lotro points and you get some loot boxes, you can definitely get some free maps. Sigil of Battles, they definitely can get you maps, which I recommend getting the good map of whatever one you're trying to do, because that one's much harder than getting the crude or the port map. Or you can get greater Sigil of Battles, which would do skills and, you know, such like that. Okay, so I'm going to map back to Grams. I'm going to log on to my other character and show you guys a little bit about corruptions and class traits and racial traits. Okay, I'm in my Reaver now. I'm going to head up to my class trainers. Alright, so here you have your monster player trainer. Right here, like I said earlier, this is where you would train all your skills, passive, traits. So let's go. Once you get them there, you go over here to Corruptor of Gramps Foot. You have 12 slots for your corruptions, 5 slots for your race, 7 for your class, and then you have your appearance slots. So right here, I have 6 critical rating boosts. So if you look at this, it says 92,400 critical rating plus 5% critical damage, and you have a set bonus. So if you set 3 of these critical ratings, you'll have 5% critical chance. And 6, which I have here, apply to target, restore 10% of maximum morale upon killing an enemy. So when I kill an enemy, then I'll, you know, get 10% more morale. No, I don't really care about that. I just want the crit rating and the crit damage. Here I have mastery. So 1 mastery would be 138,000 tactical mastery, 138,000 physical mastery. I'm physical mastery. I want 3 of them. That's just my personal preference, because the 3 set gives you 5% more damage. Then you have like tactical mitigation. So I slot 3 tactical mitigation. It gives you 96,300 tactical mits, as well as 83,200 resistance rating. And when you have a 3 set, it gives you plus 5% tactical mitigation. Now if I was fighting a different class, like say champion or some kind of physical, I would just slot my physical mitigations instead. Just right click these and put on my physical. Now there's a bunch of different kinds of corruptions. You can have critical protection. They all have their 3 sets for these type of ones, like critical protection, finesse, if you want more finesse. If you're a new player, I'd recommend buying the ones that give you health, like this right here, health for power rank 2 and rank 1. Health for power, plus 10% maximum health, minus 5% power. We don't really have power issues at all anymore, so just slot these, because you get 15% more health, as well as, you know, that's what you need. You need health. If you're a new player, you don't have audacity, you need health. And probably would want to spec into at least 3 of each mitigation. So if I were you as a new player, I would do 3 physical mits, 3 tactical mits, and then the health for power rank 1, rank 2, and the health for damage at least rank 2. And then maybe throw in some crit protection or something like that. It's all up to you. It's just until you get max audacity and get some rank, you're just going to be real squishy out there. So race. This would be available to the Orc. So Orc, Reaver, Orc Defiler. All personal preference on what you want to do with these. I use frontline fodder, gives me all this BPE stuff. Blood of Fire. This is a skill for orcs where basically you reflect 4% damage that's done to you back to the attacker. Rage of the Misbegotten, more critical rating, more health. Dying Rage. Dying Rage is kind of meme right now. I like it because it's just fun when you get to a certain, I think it's like 15-20% health, something like that. The skill comes available, and can't be CC'd. You have run speed set to 200%, and you do 50% more damage, and all this stuff listed right there. So it's a fun skill, but probably not recommended. Flare Flesh, more critical rating, more mastery, physical mastery. So mastery is damage, obviously. So class. And the class and the race skills are all going to be different based on what class you pick, like Spider, Warg, all that type of thing. So for class, this all is pertaining to Reaver. So what I use is, Enhanced Devastating Strike, just reduces the cooldown on my Def Strike. Extended Reach, so all of my AoE skills, Mutilation, Jagged Cut, Thrash, it adds 6 targets to the AoE. But if I'm solo, I'll definitely change this out for Enhanced Skill Hamstring. Basically, my Hamstring does 35% instead of 25% and has a lower cooldown. Quick Strikes, minus 10% attack duration, gives you some finesse. Blade Toss, so this is definitely needed. Your Blade Toss will do a 40% slow when you have this one slotted. Enhanced Jagged Cut, this is one of your dots. You definitely want to have this one. It's not a Reaver guide, but I'm just telling you what I have. Against the Odds gives you a heal over time, or says health and power over time, but I honestly don't know about that. It just heals me for 15%. Whatever. Resilience now adds a 5-second of CC immunity. Not sure if it actually does, doesn't feel like it, but whatever. This is your traits. Corruptions are how you can change whether or not you're tanky or a glass build, and then race and class traits. There's plenty of people that would probably share their build with you. I don't know if there's really a meta on builds, so it's up to you. Talk to some high rank creep, whatever class you're playing, and say, hey, what are you doing? So I could do it. Alright, so for settings and options to optimize your gameplay, I'll show you guys what I do. So first of all, do Control /. You can move around anything on your screen, like on my map over here now. No, I keep it up here. But that's how you move around anything on your screen. Control /. Hit it again, take it away. But let's go to options. So you have something here, PvP Performance Override. I always have that clicked. I'm not sure if it helps. I think it does. I don't lag too much unless there's server lag and everybody's lagging, so I can't really fix that as too much. But some tips that I like: if you go into UI settings, you can scroll all the way down to scale. So there's ways you can just move all types of stuff, like the map. Let's see, where's the map at? Whatever, we'll just see. Oh, radar, here you go. You can make the radar bigger, smaller, whatever you want. So, well, it moved a little bit. Move it back. So when you're in raid, you'll have your first fellowship right here. I think like standardly it'll put it right here, and then the other two over here. So you can change the size of them right here. Fellowship Vitals, Raid 2, Raid 3, Raid 4, and then move them around accordingly. If you're in a raid, it would be easier to show you where they're at. But once you're in the raid, you hit Control / so that you can move them around. Toolbar, if you want your toolbar a little bit smaller, whatever suits you. Next, in combat options. So I don't remember what is automatically default right here, but this is the way I do it. So I have auto target enemies off, because I don't want to be auto targeting people. Next one would be skills can enable default attacks. So you want to have this checked, because while you're attacking, pressing your skills, you want to have little auto attacks in between there. Allow skill buttons to target nearest enemy. So if you're just running around, you press a skill, it'll target the nearest enemy, whatever's closest to you. So it's pretty helpful sometimes in Raid v Raid. enable skill target forwarding. So I don't really know how to explain this one, but basically if I'm targeting somebody, say I'm targeting me, whatever I'm targeting, and I have my UI set up here, selections target, whatever I'm targeting will show up right here. So that's very helpful for raid v raid if there's no target assist for some reason, or if you just want to see, hey, who's this person targeting? Works for freeps, creeps, anything. So you want to have that checked and then put it in a place where you can see it. I put it right by who I'm targeting because it just makes it a lot easier. Enable mischance penalties while moving. Don't really know what this is. Some skills support mischance penalties if used while moving. I don't know. Whatever. I just have it checked. Show the vitals of your selections target. So it'll just show the vitals of whatever target you're selecting, of your target's target. I imagine it's that. Okay, whatever. Directional selection indicator. So you want that checked, and I'll show you why. If you're in a raid v raid and there's just so much going on, you can see right here, there's a little green dots that tell you, hey, that's the direction of your target. Like, someone calls a target and you're like over here, like, holy fuck, where's the target? Oh, it's over here. Okay, I'm on my way. Okay. Enable content. That's already checked. I don't know what that is. No, I don't have a companion. Display combat state. Okay, so display combat state break notices in chat window. I'm actually going to disable that because I don't really care who is breaking CCs in like raid v raid. Maybe if I was in a 6v6, I would be like, I would want to know what's going on, who's doing that, but that's not a big deal to me right now. So show assist window. I'll move this over here. Assist window is when you're in a group, your leader can make themselves or whoever a target assist. So if I backslash, my assist window is right here. I put it right in front of my character because they'll basically, when they make themselves or whoever a target assist, their name will show up here and who they're targeting will show up right here. So it's real quick to say on my target, then you can just click right there and then you'll automatically click their target. So that's very important for raid v raid or groups. If you want to be in that, you need to have this up. Okay. Optional combat animations, animation, movement assistance. So you don't want this checked because if I have this checked, I click something that it'll basically move my character to whatever I'm doing, and I don't want that. I want to have full control of it. Enable persistent area effect. So I don't have this checked, but for people that put down like banners or anything like war leader banners, you have this checked, it'll actually outline the effectiveness of where it's at. So if the banners say where this guy is right here, it would give you a square of where that banner's effectiveness is around it. So it's probably pretty important. I don't have it up, probably should, but it's okay. Alright, social options. So in social options, there are two that you definitely want to have checked because this game's already laggy, and if you see every debuff buff on a target or even in your raid, it's just going to lag you out. So basically group, if you're in a group, only show dispellable effects. So you will only see things that are dispellable. When checked, group vitals displays will hide effects which are non-dispellable. Okay, cool. Group only show effects cast by you. So when you're in a group, when checked, group vitals displays will hide effects which are not cast by you. So you don't want to see everybody's thing that they cast on the target or whatever. It just causes unnecessary lag. Make sure these are unchecked. And the reason you want these to be unchecked is because you kind of want to see what's on your target. You want to see if it has vital target, you want the heal debuff, and it's really good to see what is on your target. So that's that. Chat, quick slots. Okay. Quick slots are for bars. Like if you want extra bars, you have an option to at least have 5. I have 5. I have my main bar, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I have this bar over here. It's just for all my emotes and all that stuff. Dance. So let's see. Key mapping. So key mapping I'll go into in a second actually. So if your PC can handle it, when you're in the graphics section, you want to do, like I said, the Pvmp performance override, but you just go ultra high, and that way you can, see very far out there. What makes you be able to render all the players would be, where is it? Object draw distance. You want ultra high. See, it says adjust how far away characters and scenery objects are rendered. This is set to low to improve performance. So if you need more performance, set it lower, but you want it to be kind of high, because if you're running out there, you want to be able to see a freep that's far away coming close to you. You don't want them to automatically be like boom in front of your face. Okay, key mapping. So in PvP, most of the players that you're going to encounter are going to be using key mapping or key binds, and they're going to be turning with their mouse. So I'll show you real quick. Got some training dummies right here. So I have a 12 button mouse. As you see down here, this button, it's key bound to number 1, and that's just how I set up my mouse. So all these buttons are all key bound, and if they were not key bound, I would have to click them. So in PvP, if you're going to try and click your skills, you're not going to be very effective, because most of the time people are going to be mouse turning. So right now I'm using my mouse to run around, and I'm just pressing the buttons that I want to do. So it's a lot better for PvP. PvE, you can probably get away with it, not really sure, but mouse turning and using keybinds is pretty much a must in PvP. So definitely learn that, get used to it, and the way you can set skills is with key mapping down here. So quick slot, they're all on here. It's kind of confusing, but once you get it, you can just, if it's already key bound to something, like quick slot 38 is my disarm. If I got rid of it here, I would just click this, hit T, and now that skill right here is key bound to T. So when I'm attacking something, if I hit T, oh, I can't disarm it, whatever. I'll just use R. R is on my slow. So if I hit R, I slowed it. There we go. Something else that might help you out. I don't really know if it has anything to do with lag, but when you're in a group, you don't want to see what everybody else is getting, because we're all getting the same stuff. Like, you loot something, you get like hobbit legs, elf ears, stuff like that. So you hit right-click General tab, you go to Change Filter. You can take off Loot Fellow, so you won't see what everyone else is getting. It just won't clog up your chat box. You can take off Self, or you can leave it on to see what you get. But that's just something else to clean up your UI a little bit. Okay, so yeah, that was just a little intro into starting a creep. What to do first. You want to get your 1 minute grams map. It's a grams camp all the time lately. You want to get your 1 minute grams map. Get all the quests at the start in grams. So I showed you the route to DG. The safe way to get all these different keeps. There's not really any safe way, because there's freeps all over this map. So unfortunately, on your grind to get maps, you're gonna die, and that's fine. It's just how it is. So unless you have a bunch of loot boxes that you get while killing NPCs and you open them, and you're gonna have to grind out all these maps. 50 quests per keep, 10 quests for your crude, 15 extra for your poor, and then 25 for your good. So that's just the way it is. That is how creeps. That's our level. That's our level grind to 140, is just getting maps, getting skills. Shows you how to use your corruption traits, your race traits, class traits, and it's gonna all be what you prefer. Basically, there's plenty of high rank creeps and stuff like that you can get builds from. I showed you how to optimize your settings, and clean up your UI a little bit. Key mapping and mouse turning, it's a must. If you want to PvP, I highly recommend just figuring it out. But yeah, again, control backslash is how you move anything on your screen. So clean it up, make it how you want it. Let's see. Yep, getting your maps, saving your comms. So saving your comms, you do not want to spend your comms when you are a new player. You want to get your skills, get your audacity. Over here at the potions trader, you can buy higher health, health pots, stun pot, root pot for comms. Same with there's 3 different potions that you can use. Like this one gives me 200 resistance for 30 minutes. This guy has 223,000 armor value for 30 minutes, 4,000 evade, or 400,000 evade for 30 minutes. Those are all things you don't want right now. Because they all cost comms. You want to save your comms. So I'll tell you what you can do. To get stun pots, talk to this guy, Quartermaster. He sells this stuff for gold. And if you need gold, it's pretty cheap. So if you need gold, message me and I will definitely give you some gold to buy this stuff. You can buy your trackers here. So classes, I'm an orc, so I get to track elves. So all the different trackers are here. For Spider, they track dwarfs. Wargs track hobbits. And then Uriks track men. So right here, the odorous salts. It's the same thing. It's a stun pot. It makes you take 500 damage, but with our health pool, that is nothing. So don't waste your comms on stun pots. Just buy these. Hit shift, right click to buy 50. Here's your root pots. For health pots, this restores 13% of your health. The other ones, they restore more. Like I think the top one for comms is 25%, but it's just not worth it. Just buy a bunch of these, and you're just gonna have to, stick it out for a little while until you get your audacity, get your skills, get your traits, and then you can start spending your comms on things that help your character a little more, like buffs and higher health pots and whatnot. Right here, special items trader. You can get these things. It still costs comms, so I wouldn't recommend it, but it would increase the effective audacity by 5. So whatever your audacity is at now, you buy this, use it. It'll increase it by 5, but still not worth it. You need to save all your comms for skills and audacity. So I guess in conclusion, it's not easy to start up a creep, but it is what it is. If you have any questions, let me know. Take time to learn your class. Look at all your skills. Your skills might interact with each other that you didn't know. Like this one, Impale. Does 25% additional damage per bleed, which ignores all mitigation. So I stack all my bleeds, which they're all right here. My Impale will do a lot more. So make sure to look at your class, look at your skills, and, just try to learn your class. So if you like this video, if it helped you out at all, be sure to hit the subscribe button. And again, any questions, leave a comment below, or send me a tell in game, or send me a mail in game. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.